Hello there, Bob Scott here. I'm out in the field again walking through another property with you. Got my lucky I Buy Houses shirt on today. So we're out here at this property in the St. Anne neighborhood. And one thing right off the bat that I really like about this property is that we own that yellow one there on the corner. So it's always nice to know your neighbors. We've obviously got a very large front yard here, long driveway. It's a nice feature. Lots of room for the kids to play. So you see, cute little house, good curb appeal. This one is a little bit interesting, so we'll walk through and I'll show you exactly why. But as we're looking at the exterior, you can see all the siding's in pretty good shape. If we step back a moment, you can look up onto the roof. It's probably hard to tell from this video, but the roof's, it's okay. It's not great, but it's probably got a few years left of life left in it. Excuse me. Slider door here. A little bit of a patio on the side. One thing I don't like is this big tree that's right off the back of the house. You know the roots from this tree are pretty big and probably getting into some areas of the house, and long term it's probably going to need to come down. And a tree like that is not going to be cheap. Probably several $1,000s, maybe upwards of $5,000 to $7,000 on the high end. Keep going around the back here. I'll go to this other corner so you can see what I'm going to talk about here in a moment. But if you look at the front of this house, has this gable on it, and it's got a pitch roof, which is nice. There's a really low pitch this back addition, which you can see they've got rolled roofing on the back here, and it's fine. It does work, but it definitely is going to have more water issues over time than that front section. So something to be cognizant of, and maybe when we're walking through the interior we'll take a look at and see if there's any obvious signs of water damage. But the gutter and downspouts are all new. Exterior windows, or the exterior of the windows all looks fine. The condenser's in pretty good shape, and we've got our electric service here. There's a small crack there. They might make us replace that even with that minor of a crack you can see on there. But that's not too hard to do. And on the front of the house there's definitely plenty of ground clearance, so I don't think we'll have any issues there. This does have a cellar. Definitely not a fan of it. But you know, there are a lot of homes in this neighborhood and in this older age that have it. So it's not the end of the world. There's not much head clearance down here, and there is some dirt that's getting in from the crawl space on the other side. It's definitely not ideal, but no one's really going to use this space, and like I said, it's not something I haven't seen before, and probably wouldn't hurt too much if you're trying to rent this out. We've got a 100 amp service here, which is plenty for a house this size. Water heaters here, and it's definitely older, but looks like it'll be fine. Probably not have too many issues here. And we've got our furnace, same thing, older, but probably fire up without too many issues. Line sets there, and we do have a sump pump on this side of the house, and you can see they've got a dehumidifier running to try and keep some of this water out. And there's a crawl space back there, not too much to look at, but you can see the stacks have been replaced, and some of the furnace lines have also been replaced at some point. This block foundation wall, definitely I prefer a poured concrete foundation, but if the price is right, I'll buy any house. So we'll get into the numbers a little bit here when you see the inside. This house looked really great in the pictures, and that's one thing, is you always got to go look at them, because you never know what you can't see and what you can see from the pictures. There's been new carpet here in the living room. The ceilings are a little bit low, and the house is a little bit of a skate park, so there's a little bit of undulation in the floors, which is not a deal breaker, but again, all these things start adding up, and you just got to make your offer adjust it accordingly. You see there's been a little bit of water damage there below the window, but it's all pretty solid. We've got the original windows here, so eventually those are going to need to be replaced. Everything's been just primed white. And the inside here, got our first bedrooms, pretty small again. You can't see it in the video, but I can feel it as I'm walking around. There's some difference in the floor heights as we go from room to room, and even within the rooms themselves, which is for sure not ideal. Something your end tenant or your tenant buyer, if you're doing a lease option on this one, is going to for sure notice. It's not a subtle thing. We've got new vinyl flooring here in the kitchen, or in the bathroom. And you can see we got standard builder grade, rental grade, vanity and mirror and light pack, tub surround, tubs new. All the right pieces are here. This all functions. Water all works everywhere. So it's nice. This is a private seller is selling this property. So there's a few less questions when it comes to the systems and everything working than there might be if this was a foreclosure. Kitchen's pretty nice. I mean, the cabinets are older, but they've been painted and painted well. It's not a sloppy job. We had a newer countertop on here and a one bowl sink. That's all pretty good shape. Got our P-trap here. Everything looks fine as far as the kitchen is concerned. So there's our gas line for the stove. Got the same vinyl flooring here in the kitchen, and nice slider, plenty of light in here. Again, pretty low ceilings in here. This house is for sure older. I mean, I would say easily probably close to 100 years old. And again, the floor. Let's see if I can get a shot of this where you can really see what I'm talking about with the floor. And you can see there's a drop from left to right of probably easily an inch, if not more, there in the kitchen. Again, not necessarily a deal breaker, but we've got a lot of things that are adding up on this house. Back bedroom, carpet's new, light fixture's fine, and paint's all in good shape. That new back window is also new as well. Okay, so let's get down into final analysis on this one. Go here and check this out. This house was originally listed for 39? Yeah, 39,900. 39,900 was at one point 34,900. Then price dropped to 29,000. And let's see, freshly painted and decorated, newer flooring, central air, partial basement, extra large lot, off-street parking. So, with that, with all that we've learned so far, you know, there's a lot of little things that add up. The house is in good shape for what it is, but this house is more of a lipstick on a pig type of situation where we've made the house look nice and pretty, but there's a lot of little issues that are adding up that long term are going to have to be fixed at some point. Now, we've seen what it's priced at. It's at $29,000. We actually offered $20,000 on this property, and we got countered by the seller at $26,000. Now, given what we've seen here today, I don't want to raise my offer at all. I'm going to keep it right at $20,000. And if we can pick it up at that price, I think that it makes sense because we're not really going to have to do much work here right off the bat. Long term, we might have to take that tree down in the back, do some other stuff. But for the most part, it's a clean house and pretty close to rent ready. All the systems are here and functional. And I bet we can probably get $700, $750 for this property. It's in a nice neighborhood. It's got a large lot. It's just the house is a little bit older. So there's going to be less of a market for it. But still, if you think about it, we buy the house for $20,000. Taxes and insurance are going to run us maybe $150 for this property. So, you know, we're all in. Our monthly payment is going to be, you know, off the top of my head, probably $400. So if we can rent this thing out for $700, $750, and put, you know, $300, $350 in our pocket each and every month, that might be a good deal. So I'm going to stick to 20, and hopefully we'll get it accepted at that. And I'll see you at the next property. Oh, one more thing. Don't forget to subscribe below for 20 videos per month from the guys at Join Ops, bringing you videos like this from the field where I walk through a property, analyze it. Also be bringing case studies where we show how to find comps on this house, figure out what this thing is really worth, and other type of macro and economic stuff, Austrian economic analysis, how to use whole life insurance to really compound your returns if you're already investing in real estate. So check that out. Subscribe below. Go to joinoutproperties.com if you want to learn how to get involved in investments like this in St. Louis. And also go to autopilotassets.com to learn how to find deals like this in your own local market. Thanks for joining me here today. Have a good one.